Hey everyone, I'm Sabrina. My channel is The Hopeful Minimalist. It's a safe space for handbag admiration. So if you are a lover of handbags, please consider subscribing, joining our community, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever I post a new video. Happy weekend, everyone. It's Saturday. This is my first video after getting back from vacation. I knew that I wanted to talk about the handbags that I took out of town. I had an absolutely wonderful time with my family, probably the best trip that I've had in a long time. I'm one of those people that gets travel anxiety, and it starts before we actually travel. It starts with thinking about what I'm going to pack, packing, airport, keeping up with travel documents, and looking after my daughter. And just, it has definitely gotten easier, and I experienced that ease in this trip. And so that made it a lot better. I will say getting braids is the first step to being stress-free when traveling, especially to the islands. I probably won't ever be traveling with natural hair anymore. Not to an island. Not to an island. I just can't. I can't do it with my daughter either. We both had braids. So like I said, that was like step number one for us, braids. Just getting organized beforehand. Start thinking about what you're going to take, write it down, and that way you kind of know where to go and what you want to take with you. And then I must be doing better because of the bags that I took on this trip. And that's what I want to talk about today, of course, with the bag community, because years ago I never would have taken the number of bags or handbags that I took on this trip, and I probably would not have taken the ones that I chose to take, but came to the realization that they just cost too much not to use them. And I know I've said this before, but this time I was very intentional about getting some use out of these handbags. And I'm by no means saying to wait until you go out of town to take them with you. No, use them today, use them right now. I made it a point to put these bags in my carry-on and to use them. So I'm going to try to go in chronological order. I have a few. I put all of these in my carry-on bag, in their dust bag, and whatever happens, happens. I took precautions. I sprayed them with Apple Guard to try to protect them from any like water damage or rain damage. And then after that, it's just like, hey, I tried, but I'm using these bags. So this was the first bag that I used. This is the one I took on the flight out. This is the Louis Vuitton Speedy 20. This is the bag I used outbound, and I can't say it was my favorite. The experience that I had with this one was that it became a little stuffed. And you can mitigate that, of course, with downsizing, but I do feel like this one just is not as roomy as the one that you'll see was my favorite. For starters, I had the medium envelope pouch from Dress Up Your Purse, which is what I used to hold our passports. Passports fit effortlessly inside of this medium pouch. It fits perfectly inside of the Speedy 20. However, I guess coupled with all of the other like storage pouches that I was using, it seemingly got a little cramped. And then I was using this strap at first, which is the strap that came with the bag. Going into an airport restroom, or not an airport restroom, but an airplane restroom with this strap and this bag was not comfortable. I felt like I was right there, like at the sink with my bag, like right there at the sink. And I always take my bag in with me because I have a 5-year-old and I have to carry this in with her to make sure that she's not touching everything. And anyway, this and the Speedy 20, not a good situation for the plane ride. And especially with the way that I like to carry the Speedy 20, it just didn't work very well. At some point, during the trip outbound, I changed to this strap, and it did help a little bit. It just didn't feel as bulky of a situation. When you're traveling, you want something that's not going to weigh you down, not going to make you feel uncomfortable. This is the Pochette strap from Dress Up Your Purse. I think there's a DUYP right there on the inside of the strap. And I bought this strap specifically for my Speedy 20 since it only came with that jacquard wide guitar strap. This strap definitely changed the feeling of carrying the Speedy 20, but I don't know if I would carry the Speedy 20 again unless I drastically modify what I had inside of it. So Speedy 20 was not a fail. It was just a bit more uncomfortable. Now, on to the most used bag of the trip. Pochette Métis by the pool. This was my birthday bag, and going out of town, like, what other bag would you take besides this one? This screams Grand Cayman. This screams beach. This screams tropics. This screams by the pool. This was the most used bag of my vacation, and here's the reason why. It's wide open. This bag fit the most out of all of the other bags that I'll show you today. It's just wide open. Everything that I could think of fit into this bag. Now, large items like towels and fans and shoes and stuff, of course, I used my beach tote bag. But as far as traveling, like on the way back, I had the envelope pouch for passports. I also had this Toiletry 15-esque pouch for other necessities. These both went into this bag along with the mini envelope pouch that I was using for my license and credit cards and cash, the little mini can of Lysol, hand sanitizer, whatever you can think of. If I can find the picture that I snapped, I will pop it in here. Whatever I needed, though, fit into this bag, and I found that to be true while on the trip as well. So this bag ended up at the turtle farm where there was a water park because the treated vachetta, I just wasn't worried about it. It ended up at dinner, lunch, by the pool, wherever. Wherever I needed to go, this bag was there, and it had my work phone in it, my personal phone. Everything that I needed in a handbag was in here. And it was just convenient and easy to carry. I think because it's more of a flat shape than the Speedy 20, because I could just kind of lay it flat in the front of my body or on the back of my body, and it wasn't bulbous, I think made all the difference. I love the Speedy 20, but I mean, now that we look at it like this, it's not that huge of a difference when you consider the width, but something about this bag just, I don't know, it was just more comfortable, and I felt like I didn't have to do a lot. I felt like the bag was working for me more so than me having to work to get through the bag and to get things in and out of it and all that. It was just easy. I did not keep my iPad in here, although I could have. I mean, obviously it would easily fit in there. iPad mini. In there like swimwear with the treated vachetta and the print all over the bag. I didn't really worry about anything happening to it, and everything was perfectly fine. There are no marks on the handle, and the strap that I used with this most of the time was the pink jacquard strap from my multi-pochette accessories. So That was the one that I found to be most comfortable, but I ended up using this strap right here on the way home. So most used bag during the trip, hands down. This is the next bag that I used on the trip, and this was the one that I used on my beach cabana day. And this is the nylon pouch from Dress Up Your Purse. I took the vachetta strap to the beach, and the bag was perfectly fine. And I will say that I had some interactions with some water at some point, but evidently it just dried because it did get like on this vachetta here, but I don't see any marks on it. And I didn't spray this one, and I didn't spray this strap, and I know that I had some water spots on these areas at some point during the trip, but I think it just dried. But like I said, this is the bag I used on my cabana day, and it was a very good bag. I just wish it was bigger and I could fit more into it, and I definitely would have used it more. But it's the perfect companion to an environment where there's water, sprinkles, and sand, and this is something that you can easily clean. Like I said, the leather did get wet at some point because I saw it. I saw it when it was wet, and it looks like it just dried because I don't see any water spots whatsoever on this bag, and it looked very cute with a bathing suit. When I wasn't using this as a bag, there were a couple of times where I used the pouch as a catch-all. So this was what I had in the middle compartment of my Pochette Métis during some parts of the trip. It worked very well as a catch-all. This is the last, no, this is not the last. I still have one more, but these are the ones that I used most infrequently, and you'll see why. This is the Carryall PM that I received right before the trip, and because I was of that attitude, hey, I'm going to use these bags, I decided to pack it up and take it out of town with me. So I did use this for dinner one day. It was dinner or lunch, and I don't think I used it anymore. And it all goes back to capacity. The Pochette Métis just held so much more. This bag is a very good size. It's like the perfect size for me, but it's not as big as you might think when you get to the inside of it. Now, this is, I got this organizer from Walmart like probably 2 years ago. And this is all that I had at the time of going on the trip. So I just grabbed it so that it would be some kind of protection for the interior of this bag. So it fits pretty well, but it's actually not big enough for this bag. But some protection was better than none. But this is the interior of it. So it's not that big. I would say that the inside of this bag is very similar to like a soft tabby. If you are familiar with the size of a soft tabby, I know that it looks bigger on the outside, but the inside capacity is really not that huge. So it was just easier for me to use the Pochette Métis with the outfits that I had, the colors, and just the ease of use for a vacation, a trip. The Pochette Métis was just easier. Now this bag is absolutely beautiful, and I cannot wait to use it again now that I'm back. And I also can't wait to use the pouch because I didn't use the pouch really at all on the trip. But like I said, this was very cute paired with, I think I wore a Janae Naylor dress. It was like blue and white, and it matched very well with this bag. And like I said, I'm so excited to use it more now that I'm back. I really don't have any complaints about it. It was very comfortable. The strap, I already talked to you guys about how flexible and soft it is. The bag is extremely soft. The feet on the bottom are a plus, and I really enjoyed using it. All right, and the last bag that I used on the trip is this little cutie right here, another bag that I received right before the trip. This is the Dress Up Your Purse. It is the Dress Up Your Purse Micro Paris 15, and this is number 3 for me. I have black, the lavender gray, and now this one, which is the beautiful buttercream. This was a bag that I would use for like going to breakfast. I've shown you all before that my iPhone 13 mini does fit in this bag in the back compartment here. So that's like a super plus for me when it comes to this bag. Now I never want to upgrade my phone because they don't make the minis anymore to my knowledge, but it fits in this compartment, and I could just put that in the back. I could put like a lip gloss or ID, whatever else I needed in the front compartment here. And I even played around with making this a belt bag, and I will put some pictures in of how I did that. I probably can't do it now because we've been eating rum cake for the past 3 or 4 days. And honestly, I probably can't get it around my waist at this moment. But at some point during the trip, I was able to wear it around my waist, and I found it to be extremely cute. And not one of my most used bags because, like I said, I would take it to breakfast. And it was just a quick way to have just the bare essentials, but still a cute bag, cute enough to grab and say, okay, I'm taking this on the trip with me. All of my bags, I took the dust bag with them. I wrapped up everything in their dust bag, put them into my carry-all, and that's how I traveled with them. As far as like going through the airport with the Pochette Métis, I also kept the dust bag handy because there's no way I was just going to sit it in those dirty totes that they use for at TSA. So I would just drop the Pochette Métis into the dust bag and send it through the x-ray machine and then take it back out, put the dust bag back in my carry-on bag. It was pretty easy. I just didn't want, I know how dirty it is. Like, airports are filthy. If you have a hard-sided luggage, just take a Lysol wipe to it after you get home or after you get to your hotel, and you'll see how filthy everything is. So with that in mind, I think the dust bag is an integral part of traveling with your luxury bags. Now, the last item that I want to talk about just a little bit is the envelope pouch, because this was the carrier of our passports the entire time of the trip. I comfortably fit 3 passports in here, but I believe that 4, at least 4, would go into here and fit very nicely because at some point I was able to fit my iPhone 13 mini in here behind the 3 passports. And that made things very simple for me. I did post a picture to my community page where I had the chain on, and I just had it kind of draped around my neck like this because at the airport it's very annoying, but you've got to have your passports out when you're checking in, when you're going through TSA, and at multiple checkpoints you have to have your passports like readily available. And for me, it was easy to just take this out of my Pochette Métis and put it around my neck so that it was always affixed to my body, but I wouldn't have to keep going in and out of my handbag to get the passports. So I found this chain to be very useful in that sense. And then, once I was done with passports, I just took the chain back off, put it in my carry-on, and put this pouch back into my purse. And it was very simple, and I didn't have to worry about where did the pouch go because it was around my neck, and it was just easy. So that really did eliminate a lot of stress and a lot of, looking around and searching for things when things are already hectic. Everyone's in a rush. at an airport, you may be running late. It was just a lifesaver for having everything right where I needed it to be. So I think that just about covers it as far as all the handbags that I used on my trip, what my favorites were, and what I think is most conducive and practical for me. Of course, these were all my own opinions and it could be different for you. So let me know if you have a different favorite for travel and why. I'm always open to learning new lessons that keep the anxiety away during travel. So please share your tips below and let me know what you think of my picks. I hope to see you all in the next video. Bye.